What if you were standing outside tomorrow morning, looking at a completely normal sky, and suddenly the entire Earth stopped rotating? You wouldn't hear a warning. You wouldn't see the planet slowing down. One moment, everything would appear normal. And the next moment, the ground beneath you would stop moving while the air, oceans, and everything not firmly attached to the surface continued rushing forward. Would you even have time to realize what was happening? Would the oceans rise over entire cities? Could the atmosphere become a weapon? And if you somehow survived the first few minutes, what would happen to the world during the days, months, and years that followed? Welcome to Cosmic Unknown, where we explore the mysteries of space, the hidden forces shaping our planet, and the most fascinating what-if scenarios that challenge the way we understand our universe. If you enjoy cinematic science stories like this, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who loves space and science, and subscribe to Cosmic Unknown. Now, let's imagine that Earth's rotation suddenly comes to a complete stop. Right now, even though you feel completely still, you are actually moving incredibly fast through space. At the equator, Earth's surface is rotating at roughly 1,000 miles per hour. You don't feel this movement because you, the buildings around you, the oceans, and the atmosphere are all moving together. It's similar to sitting inside a smooth airplane. You can be traveling hundreds of miles per hour without feeling that speed when the aircraft is moving steadily. But now imagine the airplane suddenly stopping while everything inside continues moving forward. That is the basic idea behind this terrifying scenario. If Earth's surface suddenly stopped rotating, your body would still have its existing momentum. The same would happen to the atmosphere and the oceans. Instead of simply experiencing a strange change in daylight, the planet could immediately enter a period of extreme destruction. Enormous winds could race across the surface, carrying dust, debris, trees, vehicles, and anything else that wasn't securely anchored. The atmosphere would continue moving relative to the ground, creating winds far beyond the storms humans normally experience. But the oceans could be even more dangerous. Water has enormous mass, and it would not simply stop because the ground underneath it did. Ocean water could continue moving across the surface, producing massive flooding and devastating coastal regions. Cities built beside oceans and seas could face an entirely different kind of disaster. Imagine looking toward the horizon and seeing the ocean moving toward you, not as an ordinary wave, but as an enormous body of water responding to the sudden change in planetary motion. And yet, this would only be the beginning. Once the immediate chaos passed, Earth would enter a completely different environmental reality. The first thing humans would notice is the sun. Today, Earth rotates once, approximately every 24 hours, giving us our familiar cycle of day and night. But if the planet stopped rotating, the normal sunrise and sunset cycle would disappear. One side of the planet would remain facing the sun for an extremely long period, while the opposite side would experience prolonged darkness. Imagine living in a place where the sun rises and simply stays there. At first, the sunlight might seem beautiful, but as hours become days and days become much longer periods, the constant solar energy would continue heating the surface. Meanwhile, regions trapped in darkness would lose the regular source of solar energy they depend on. Temperatures could become extreme, weather patterns would change, and ecosystems would face enormous stress. Plants that depend on regular light cycles would struggle. Animals that use the sun to navigate, hunt, migrate, or regulate their behavior would be affected. Human agriculture would face one of its greatest challenges. But there is something even more fascinating about this scenario. Earth stopping its rotation would not mean that Earth suddenly stopped moving through space. The planet would still orbit the sun. Our solar system would still travel through the Milky Way, and the galaxy itself would continue moving through the universe. In other words, stopping one type of motion would not stop the incredible cosmic journey Earth is already taking. We would simply be living on a world with a radically different relationship with its own rotation. Now imagine that thousands of years somehow pass and humanity survives. The Earth we know today could look completely different. Ocean levels and water distribution could change over extremely long periods. Weather systems could become unfamiliar. Many species could disappear, while others might adapt to the new environment. Humans might build massive underground cities or settlements designed to protect people from extreme temperatures and environmental changes. Instead of planning our lives around ordinary sunrise and sunset, civilization might be organized around regions of the planet where conditions are temporarily suitable for survival. But there is another question that makes this scenario even more interesting. Would Earth's magnetic field disappear if the planet stopped rotating? Not necessarily. Earth's magnetic field is primarily connected to movements within its outer core, rather than simply the rotation of the surface. So stopping the surface rotation would not automatically switch off the magnetic field like turning off a machine. This reminds us that Earth is not controlled by a single mechanism. It is a complicated system made of countless physical processes working together. Rotation is only one part of the story. Gravity, the atmosphere, oceans, the Earth's interior, sunlight, and countless other forces all interact to create the environment we call home. And that may be the most important lesson hidden inside this impossible scenario. Earth looks incredibly stable from our perspective. We wake up, go to work, eat, sleep, and repeat the same routine without thinking about the enormous forces moving beneath us and around us. We rarely stop to consider that the ground beneath our feet is traveling through space at incredible speeds. We don't feel Earth's rotation because we are part of the system itself. But if that rotation suddenly disappeared, we would finally understand how important that invisible movement has always been. So imagine standing outside after the disaster, looking toward the sky. The stars would still be there. The sun would still shine. The moon would still exist. The universe would continue almost as if nothing had happened. But beneath that familiar sky, humanity would be living on a completely transformed planet. And perhaps that is what makes this thought experiment so fascinating. It isn't really about Earth stopping. It's about realizing how many invisible forces must work together for our everyday life to feel normal. Every sunrise, every sunset, every calm ocean, every predictable season, and every ordinary day exists because our planet is part of a much larger physical system. Change one major part of that system, and the consequences could reach almost everything. So the next time you wake up and see sunlight coming through your window, remember that something extraordinary is already happening. The planet beneath you is rotating. It is orbiting the sun. The solar system is moving through the galaxy, and you are traveling through all of it without feeling a thing. The universe doesn't need to look violent to be incredibly powerful. Sometimes the greatest forces are the ones we never notice. And maybe that's the real mystery of Earth. We think we are standing still, but we have been moving through the cosmos every second of our lives. If you enjoyed this journey into one of Earth's most fascinating what-if scenarios, like this video, share it, and subscribe to Cosmic Unknown for more stories about space, science, the universe, and the mysteries hidden beyond our world. Because the more questions we ask, the more we discover that the universe is far stranger than we ever imagined. This is Cosmic Unknown. And somewhere beyond everything we know, another mystery is waiting to be discovered.